comes to a quick story, the Reader's Digest version. I was at a local bagel shop in Coconut Creek, Florida here with some family and some friends, and there was a huge explosion in the kitchen, right? The entire restaurant, like you felt that the hair stood up on the back of your neck, super, super hot.
Hey, welcome to the Leadership Loading Podcast. I'm Jason McLaren with my guest, Kevin. Kevin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, let's start off. We were talking before we started recording about your background. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you're at today.
Yeah, absolutely. So many years ago, over 2 decades ago, I was a firefighter up in New York. It was mostly volunteer, almost all volunteer, and partially paid. I was thinking about that being my career. I ran fire safety and security for a high-rise hotel in Times Square, New York City as well. So like a liaison between the fire department and myself. So, we were the one person that had to know everything about the building. So if the fire department were to show up, we'd be able to guide them exactly what to do, where to go, standpipe sprinklers, elevator shafts, stairwells, all that stuff. So it was great. I enjoyed it. I moved up the ranks from probationary all the way up to a captain. And then decided back in 2001, my family member owned a mortgage company down in Florida. It was like, you know what, you're young. Why don't you move down to Florida and get into the real estate business? So I took a leave of absence, said, what do I have to lose? Ironically, I moved down to Florida 20 days before 9/11, August 20th of 2001. I signed my lease down in Florida, got into the mortgage business. Wasn't so happy in it. I didn't really know anyone. It was really a big like, who do you know to get business? I didn't know much about business, didn't know much about networking. Guy took me under his wing and we opened up a real estate company, then eventually opened up a title company. We were doing all three, which was great, because you're able to have full control over your deal. And, I'd help a client find a home, sell a home, and do their mortgage, do their closing. And then what we'll talk about a little bit later on, leadership and business tips. I had an opportunity to just focus on the title company, and I've been doing that ever since. And still to this day, I've had my company now 22 years this July, and I love it. It's a great business. I miss being a firefighter, but obviously I still have a lot of that instilled in me in the things that I do in my business today.
Definitely. I've heard about those fire managers, or whatever they call them in New York, that, they have to have one for all those high-rise buildings. I do something similar in my full-time job. I'm a safety officer for healthcare. We're basically the same role, but we don't have to be there 24/7. But yeah, and then you moved into realty. So let's start. Tell me about that. Like, what's the first step? If someone's interested. I know there's a lot of firefighter realtors out there. I've even looked at getting my house inspector, home inspector license. So what's the first step for somebody that's interested in doing that?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's great because I coach a lot of them. I'm friendly with a lot. I still go to the local fire department here and I'll work a couple of days, just shift ride for free, hang out with them. I just love hanging around them because, they have such a unique opportunity to become very successful entrepreneurs. So a lot of my close friends have side hustles. The fire department's their main hustle. That's their paycheck. And it's unique because, you're able to start a business without having to worry about giving up your full-time pay. So they have a unique opportunity, and I appreciate seeing that a lot. They get to test a couple of hustles and see what works. So I think real estate is one of the best hustles for them because it's all relationship driven, which is a lot of the success of my business, the success of my leadership style. And I've authored several books, some on leadership, some on business. And I do that just because I love changing the lives of people that have given back, right? People that have given back to the local community. We're part of the Heroes program. We run a Heroes program as well. So if there's someone watching this and, they have their full-time 9 to 5 gig, or in that case, the one day on through 2 days off, they have an opportunity to get in and really change the lives of people they know, because people will do business with and refer business to. As we know, people they know, they like, and they trust. So what better person to do business with than a firefighter, first responder, military, police officers? They trust you, right? There's an instant level of trust. So for those watching this, you have an opportunity to get into a service business, whether it's home inspecting, whether it's real estate, mortgage. You have an opportunity to really serve and give back to the local community and sell yourself based on that relationship.
Yeah, and it's a very, not, I wouldn't say very low cost, but pretty low cost to entry. I think I know we're here in Texas. I think the real estate school is around $3,500 or something. Then you take the license test and all that, and then I think with veterans you can probably use your VA or GI Bill if you wanted to. So yeah, definitely some options there. And like you said, doing the side hustle thing, get your take your days off, work on some of it, and then start building your client list on your days off. And then once you retire, or if you want to, move to it full time, there you go. You're all set.
That's correct. And a lot of them do that, right? And they do that until they get ready to retire. Or some people are very, very successful and they end up leaving early.
Definitely. All right. And then, so what are you doing now? You got independence title, and so you're doing everything. You said you're doing the house, the sales, the brokerage, and the title.
Yeah, so I was doing that a long time ago. I was doing that. I ended up eventually landing a huge real estate brokerage through networking, which is my number one leadership and business success tip, is really focused on relationships. Every book I've authored, I talk about, really focusing and dialing in on the key relationships with quality business people that you do business with. So I ended up going to a networking event. I had a huge fear of public speaking, didn't want to walk in the room. And to this day, I'm up on stage sometimes with 1,000 people giving presentations and motivating people. So it was a huge turn for me. But I met the owner of a real estate company, and I had the opportunity to give up everything I was doing, with the exception of title, and being in their office to handle all of their real estate closings. And now we just actually celebrated the other day their annual awards ceremony, and we were there as their number one affiliate. And we serve their office, we serve them well. We've done anywhere up to 126 closings in any given month, and we pride ourselves on really giving back and serving the community through the real estate company.
Awesome. And then you mentioned the heroes thing. I know here in Texas it's called like Homes for Heroes or something like that. And I bought my first house through that program where I believe I don't know if you get all your commissions waived or something like that, but it's definitely a cost-saving measure for veterans and first responders if you use that program, or a lender that's in that program. I believe, I don't know how it works now with the new commissioning rates with realtors, but I don't know. Can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, so I mean, they basically give a credit back. So when it comes to the mortgage and the real estate agent, those are the real big vendors for the Homes for Heroes program, which is your mortgage consultant and your real estate consultant, because they have an arrangement to give a certain portion of the commission back. With mine, there's not that big of a commission, so it's a lot lower hanging fruit. It's more just giving a great discount. So we love to give back. We give great discounts to our heroes. We also support tons of veteran organizations. The biggest one that we support is the Honor Flight, which is where, we have two organizations here in South Florida. So we've purchased many, many, many Guardian sponsorships to send people up to the War Memorial up in DC. It's an amazing organization. So we love to give back, and we just love to serve that community. So yes, anyone that's a first responder, nurses, doctors, teachers, police officers, and obviously our U.S. veterans all qualify for that program. And it's a great program to look into, and just find someone that takes part of it. Again, because I just really have a feeling that you can know, like, and trust them a lot quicker if they're associating themselves and serving our community.
100%. So we've talked a lot about like buying homes and in the background process. What if someone wanted to get in like Airbnb rentals? Like, I know a lot of people are doing that now. They're buying 2 or 3 properties and then renting them on Airbnb or those similar sites. Like, any tips for those people?
Yeah, I mean, one of my clients is very, very successful at it. Actually worked for Comcast as an engineer, and gave up his full-time job to just be in Airbnbs. What I tell people is just understanding the market. Make sure you get trained properly to understand the markets that thrive for Airbnbs. Understand the Airbnb system and how it works and how you need to manage the system. We're obviously on the pre part of that with handling the closing. We're not really involved in the day-to-day of the Airbnb. And then also I tell people, find out what's your unique proposition, right? What's your unique offer? My friend that does it blows out renovations on these properties. He's the most beautiful Airbnb in the area, right? So people want to rent his, and they want to rent it months and months out, sometimes years out. So, I'm just encourage you, like any business, whether it's a home inspector, whether it's a title company, real estate agent, or a real estate investor, mortgage broker. You need to understand who your clients are that you're looking to serve and then work yourself backwards, right? So, as an Airbnb expert, you want to make sure you are becoming an expert in the local community, understand how the process works, how the managing company system works, and what you're going to do to deliver a final product to those clients, because it's not just buying a house, fixing it, and renting it. There's a lot more that goes into creating an experience so more people want to rent it more often, and that's how you become really successful at it.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely knowing where you want to be. I've seen some YouTubers that do that. They buy one and they think it's in a good location, and then it ends up tanking or having major sewer problems or something, and you're going backwards. So yeah, definitely doing your research beforehand and making sure you get a good home inspection, that sort of thing. So Kevin, we talked about leadership a little bit. So how did you package all your skills as a firefighter and anything you've learned in your previous careers into what you're doing now and how you're leading your crew there at Independence Title?
Yeah, absolutely. So it comes to a quick story, the Reader's Digest version. I was at a local bagel shop in Coconut Creek, Florida here with some family and some friends, and there was a huge explosion in the kitchen, right? The entire restaurant, like you felt that the hair stood up on the back of your neck, super, super hot, big explosion. And everyone in the restaurant, including the owners, the servers, everyone ran out the front door. And this guy ran in the back to go see what was going on, see if we can help someone. So I tell people, like, when you're a first responder, whether it's you're serving our country through the U.S. military, you're a police officer, you're a firefighter, nurses, doctors, even teachers, right? They qualify for that program too. They do it not for the paycheck. They run in when everyone else runs out, and they're serving others when most people will turn their back. So I do the same thing in my business. Our motto is we go in the deal together, we leave the deal together, and most importantly, we don't leave anyone behind, which is what I learned as a firefighter all the way up to becoming a fire captain. So, in our business, in the day-to-day real estate business, it's the same. I go in the deal together, I leave the deal together, and we make sure everyone gets paid, everyone is satisfied, and we have your back no matter what. So problems will happen in business, problems will happen, but you have to make sure that the people you're leading and the people that expect you to lead them are understand that you have their back. You'll walk through fire with them and make sure we all get out as safe as possible. Now, that doesn't mean things don't go wrong in business. It always happens. But it's those that stand up with honor and integrity and lead first with their heart are the ones that are going to win. So that's been my success of my business. I authored a book actually called Training with a Marine. It was called Operation Leadership, and it's about the concepts of training with the U.S. Marine in the gym and how that relates to business, all the things that this U.S. Marine puts into his day-to-day personal training business. And I took all of that and related it back into the real estate business to showcase people, like, how does someone who has served our country and the things and the traits they learn from serving our country bring that back into day-to-day business. And my other book I wrote, which was very relevant to our topic today, is called Rescue Your Business. And again, it talks about how we can lead in order to have a recession-proof business, how I took a business from being broke up to 7 figures year over year for the last 7 or 8 years now. And it's all about leading with your heart, doing the right thing, serving others, and leaving no one behind.
Nice stuff there. I'll put links to those books in the show notes below or in the YouTube description below for those that are watching, and we can get everybody connected to you. So yeah, if people want to reach out, say they're in the area and they need to get a title rep, how can I get a hold of you?
Yeah, titlerate.com, titlerate.com is usually the best way. But again, anyone who wants to just connect on social media, you can just connect with me. You can find me on any platform. I'm there, Facebook, Instagram, both for the business and personally. I post tons of motivational stuff, inspirational videos, workout videos, just cool stuff. I try not to sell. I try to lead with my heart and just make people want to do business with me. So a lot of my clients are like, I just want to find a way to do business with you because you motivate me and inspire me every day. So just check out my name. You can put it in Google, social media. You'll find me. Connect with me. I'd love to learn more about each and every one of you. And if there's anything I can do in the state of Florida for someone, reach out. I'm here to serve.
Awesome. Well, Kevin, thanks for coming on the show.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, everybody. This episode of the Leadership Loan Podcast was brought to you by Go Heroes Inc., goheroes.org. If you'd like to be a sponsor, go ahead and check out our website or email us, and we'll get you all the information you need.
There are thousands of leadership and management podcasts to choose from. We're glad you chose the Leadership Loading Podcast, a Go Heroes production. If you'd like to support Go Heroes Inc., visit www.goheroes.org. And with that, it's time to wrap up today's show. Thank you so much for listening. We sincerely hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with your family and friends. Let's all grow together. Thanks for listening to the Leadership Loading Podcast. Leadership Inspired.